Hi, psychology classes. I just wanted to clear up a couple things with you guys about Socrative and about how the quiz went. So, Socrative, as you might have found out, there is a way where you can see your end results, and there's a way that you cannot. I personally chose that you guys could not see the end results, so that way if there was a question that every student got wrong or almost every student got wrong, I could just delete that one from your score. So if there's 25 questions and it gives you, 90%, but then I delete one question for everybody, that would still give you 90% instead of 85, or rather 95% instead of 90. So that is the reason that I do not show quiz scores as soon as you're done. Sadly, Socrative's program just kind of gives you that screen of death where you're just hanging out waiting for the little circle to load and load and load. Don't worry, it records every answer. So I've got all of your answers. I know who passed, who didn't. Um, I cannot show you the quiz, sadly. I can't show you your tests. You don't get anything back. Um, the company, IoT, does not want any of their trademarked information or quizzes or tests or anything kind of out in the general public. So we have to keep kind of a tight wrap on everything that we do as far as the quizzes go, and as far as the homework, really. But I can always tell you what things you need to work on, which is what this video is going to be all about. So in both of my classes, the same questions were issues for both, I guess, for both classes. So I'm going to tell you kind of the subjects that you guys need to study. That these are the ones that maybe 60% of people got it right, but 40% got it wrong, or 50-50-ish. So we're just going to go kind of broadly over that, so that way you guys know, oh yeah, I didn't know the answer to that one, or whatever. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the goals of psychology. That's something that you guys should go back to day one, first PowerPoint. I believe it was the first note card that we ever filled out. There are 3 goals of psychology that were listed on that quiz. It was a select all that applies. So make sure that you know what those goals of psychology are, because if you put 2 of them down, that's going to be the wrong answer. Next, you guys, both classes need to reread and figure out what reuptake process looks like and what it's trying to accomplish. So remember, that is in chapter 2 when we're talking about the synapse and the dendrites and the myelin. And that kind of talks about the reuptake when we talked about the action potential and having too many positives and too many negatives outside or inside. So go back through, that's chapter 2. If you don't want to watch the whole PowerPoint, oh my goodness, did I give you extra videos that literally talk about every single one of these things. So, both classes need to watch that little video that I posted on week 2 about gestalt principles. That was a really hard one. And again, it was a select all that applies. And a lot of people maybe only got one that applies, or they picked all of them. There are 3 things that applied in that particular question about gestalt principles. So really make sure that you have 3 things down. There was an index card about it, so go back through your index cards, see if you can find that. We also need to focus on the bottom up perceptual processing. So remember, if you are doing a bottom up, it means you have no knowledge of anything. Bottom up means that you're starting from nothing to perceive information. Top down means that you've got this information that you're already thinking about and you're already using to help process the rest. So everybody needs to remember and look up what kind of things you do with bottoms up perception. Now, I know you're not going to believe this, but I posted a video about it in week 2. So maybe go back and look at that. Also, we need to talk about poor little Albert and those of you that think that it was a totally ethical experiment. That was one question that I was so surprised that you guys got wrong, because I call him poor little Albert almost every single time I see him, or every single time I talk about him. And I have video after video about it. I talked about him several times in the PowerPoints. Anybody that does an experiment to make a baby afraid or to make a baby cry and call that a success does not have the child's best interests or is not an ethical human. And the whole experiment should have just been totally like thrown out. But please make sure that you know exactly what the outcome of that little Albert experiment was. Also, we need to go back over the parts of the eye that, again, every question is like a card, an index card from the PowerPoints and an extra video that I put in during that week. It's almost like I'm planning on helping you guys get to the answers. So the part of the eye that performs the accommodation process. Do you guys remember writing that on an index card? So look over the parts of the eye. And then the last thing that I think we need to remember is the purpose and function and definition of humanism. We need to say what it is. We need to know who are humanists and what that movement was about. If you guys have more questions, and I know a lot of you are specifically wondering what you got wrong, that's fine. If you have more questions, please come to my office hours tomorrow at 9, and I will have things prepared for you, and I'll be able to look and say like, oh, you got this one wrong, and everything like that. Today, just a summary of what most people in most classes missed. And that's it, I think. Please watch the videos. And if you'd like, I will stop doing the PowerPoints and I will just do little 5-minute chats like this that just sum up the information. Email me, let me know what you think. All right, have a good day.